So, Soroya, I want to start with you. New Yorkers for Children supports students and children in New York in so many different ways, including the Last Resort Emergency Response Fund. Tell me, what is the first response or first resort option? And then how do participants end up getting the last resort fund option?
Absolutely. New Yorkers for Children, we've been around for 26 years. We're a nonprofit that focuses holistically on the youth and children of New York City with a focus on older youth in foster care. And while we've been around for 26 years, in 2012, we began an emergency cash grant program focused on older youth that were attending college. And the funds were used to provide educational support for crises that might have happened to a student while they were in college. And if not for receiving these funds, they'd have to drop out. And so that is our first resort fund. It was sort of the focus of that program. And when COVID hit in March of 2020, because we are a nonprofit and we're nimble and we try to address sort of unmet needs as they emerge, we very quickly pivoted our fund to support young adults, 18 and between the ages of 18 and 26, that were not necessarily in college, but experiencing a financial hardship as a result of COVID. And so that's the Last Resort Fund.
And I think what you're saying is the fund supplies money for expensive expenses, college tuition, supplies, just regular basic necessities. And it really helps to have generous donors. So Mo, I'm curious, as an NBA player, you all have so many different initiatives that you can get involved with. And I read the bio, you're so involved in so many other areas. Why did you take a personal interest in supporting young adults who had aged out of the foster care system?
Um, you know, Last year when I discovered the Last Resort Fund, I was kind of thinking about the situation that was going on in the world at the time. And COVID hit. There was a lot of unexpected hardships that people were hit with, and I was just it was the holiday season. I was thinking of different ways that I could try to help, and obviously a cash donation is one. So, like I said, I was doing some research and I came across the Last Resort Fund, and it really hit me. One, the fund being based in New York, the city that I'm from, and two, focusing on the youth. That's always been like a big passion of mine. I feel like the youth is our future. In that age range, the 18 to 25 range is a lot of times a forgotten age range that people don't really emphasize as much in situations like these. And I loved everything about it when I saw it, and I wanted to be involved.
And I think you're right. The 18 to 26 age group is hard because they're not kids, but they're also not established adults. So they need support in different ways. And Soroya, I know you've been a champion in this field for your entire career. And this age group can be a lot to manage. What are some best practices you've learned along the way on what type of support they need and what works well?
Yeah. So, New Yorkers we focus on what we think is the most pressing need. We have a focus on youth that are transitioning out of foster care. And so education is a big area of focus for New Yorkers. It was part of what our founder really focused on, and providing opportunities and access to education. So we have an educational scholarship that we offer. And the cash grants that we also provide are a big game changer for young people, particularly those in foster care, because emergencies come up. And so they have a place to kind of come to kind of lift them out of whatever that situation, so they don't have to interrupt their education, or they don't lose their housing. The fund supports housing. It supports first month's rent. It supports groceries. So education is a big piece, and just life skills and coaching and support. We couple all of our scholarships with one-on-one college advising. And then another area that's really important is mental health support, especially during COVID, but really for anyone in this age group. And tutoring is a big need as well. and just like peer support. So we also have a youth advisory board where we feel like young people can kind of come into a space with other young people. And that's really one of the greatest gifts, I think, is just being able to provide a space for youth to kind of come together, because they're their greatest support, and creating that network is important as well.
That's so true. So both of my parents are therapists, and it's a second career for my mom, but my dad used to do so many programs for adopted kids, foster care kids, and those who had already transitioned out. And some of my best memories are us just like hanging out and playing giant Jenga, which I was the champion of, just saying.
That's so great.
So Mo, so much of what Soroya said and what New Yorkers for Children does is sort of professional and career development, and also educational tools so that students are empowered to do all the things they want to do and pursue their dreams. I wonder what your dream job is. If you weren't a professional athlete, what would you be doing?
That's a pretty good question. I don't know. I think I have a lot of different interests in a lot of different things. I swear in my past life, I was an artist who just painted all day long. So, I think it would be something artistic and creative that I could, get those type of juices flowing.
Have you ever got into painting? Is this a thing?
No, I mean, when I was younger, I used to love like painting and stuff like that. But as I got older, I got away from it. But I still love art and, all things like that. I don't do my own art anymore.
Well, you never know. The pandemic is a great time to pick up random hobbies that you liked as a kid. Just saying.